My name's Jacob, I'm a calisthenics champion. I'm gonna show you 5 things I wish I knew when I started calisthenics. Let's get into it. In calisthenics, there are a lot of skills to learn, and if you're like me, then you probably want to master many of them, like the handstand push-up, the muscle-up, front lever, and many more. And while it's definitely achievable to learn them all, it's very inefficient to learn them all at the same time. Instead, choose a rotation of max 1 to 2 pulling skills and max 1 to 2 pushing skills to implement into your program. So an example could be the one-arm pull-up, back lever, and handstand. Implementing more than 4 skills is a common mistake because it's simply much more efficient to learn a few skills and then maintain them while you're moving on to new ones. Embrace the theory of marginal gains in your workouts and your mindset. This simple principle is illustrated by the power of improving 1% every day for a year. It shows that small, consistent improvements can lead to exponential long-term progress. Marginal gains is making a big deal of the little things, and it's widely known as the hidden advantage among pro athletes. It's about analytically breaking down your training and everyday life and asking yourself the question, what small improvements can I make that doesn't add to my stress level? A famous example is the cycling team Team Sky, who went as far as to bring athletes their own beds to competitions, made sure they didn't have to carry their own luggage, and they even hired a surgeon to demonstrate techniques for washing their hands. Now here's what happened. First, Team Sky cyclists washed their hands for a longer period of time, and as a result the team was on average 2% less sick from 2010 to 12. And third, they won Tour de France in 2012. So here's the question. How much credit does the extra hand washing get? The answer is of course, no credit. It's such a small change that in itself it doesn't lead to faster progress. The advantage is hidden because it's mixed in with all the other marginal gains that collectively and over time led to progress. This of course is a very extreme example, so let's get realistic. Here's how progress actually looks most of the time. As you near your strength potential, the graph flattens. But this in turn makes marginal gains even more important if you want to fully utilize your potential. The key takeaway here is that an analytical mindset and even making very small improvements every day in your trainings, sleep, diet or other aspects will get you very far if you keep it up. It also means that you don't need huge progress from training to training because the benefits often come later down the line if you trust the process. It's a human tendency to overestimate what we can do in a short period and underestimate what we can do over a long period. In any workout, it's only natural that your strength will drop as the session drags out. This means you should be very particular about how you start your workouts when your strength and energy is peaking. For skill-specific training, always begin with the movement pattern you want to improve the most. It may sound obvious, but what's implied here is that every workout you need to prioritize not only what's important to learn, but what's most important to work on right now. So if you've chosen multiple skills, you need to prioritize among them, and you may need to prioritize your weak points as well. For instance, if you want to learn muscle-ups but your strength is the limiting factor, you could start with diagonal pull-ups to replicate the pulling angle, or for handstand push-ups, you could start with pike push-ups if you're mainly lacking strength, or handstands if you're lacking balance. Other examples are feet-assisted reps for the impossible dip and tuck variations for the planche. After your skill-specific training, continue into sets and reps with the basics. That's pull-ups, rows, dips, push-ups, and squats. I found this to be extremely important because training the basics builds the strength base, the hypertrophy base, and the work capacity that allows you to later perform crazy skills or heavy weighted repetitions. You could say that every advanced domain in calisthenics is built on top of the basics. As mentioned, you should still begin your workouts with skill training because it builds specific strength, prepares your ligaments, and lets your body adjust to the movement patterns, but the basics should be your primary way of getting in volume afterwards. And my experience tells me that it's very easy to neglect the basics, especially when you start getting stronger, but if you want fast and sustainable progress, the basics should always be in your program. As you know, calisthenics is training with your own body weight, but that doesn't mean that you can't increase the scalability of your exercises or straight up increase performance with the right equipment. For instance, rings or parallettes adds new exercise options to your workouts. A daisy chain can help you adjust plate height for weighted calisthenics so you can squeeze your feet for better tension. Wrist wraps and sleeves reduces the risk of injury, while chalk and grip tape can help you grab the bar better so you can reach your maximal performance output. Investing in the right equipment supports your progress and safety by improving the quality of your trainings. And my experience definitely tells me that it's optimal to be proactive and invest in high-grade gear sooner rather than later. I hope the tips helped, and I'll see you in the next video.